how do I going to turn this into this? Stick around. Let's get at it. Alright everybody, as you can see, we are not out in the bush today. We're in my shop. Okay, it's in my junk shop in the basement, but we'll call it a shop. I have an exciting build that I thought I would put together. It kind of inspired me from the last dollar store challenge video. If you haven't seen that one, I'll put a link in the description, or possibly a little tab at the top of the screen. I'll figure it out. If you haven't seen the dollar store challenge, basically the whole premise is you have to spend a night out in the bush with survival items you buy at the dollar store. I did that last year back in the beginning of May and kind of got hypothermic overnight, so I had to bring my fire inside the shelter. What I thought I would do today, that inspired me to build a little pot stove out of some stuff I had laying around the house. I've got a little beer keg, one of these little mini Bubba kegs, some soup cans, and what I thought I would do, and bits and pieces of a recycled charcoal grill. What I was hoping to do was build a little pot stove so that the soup cans act as the chimney. You know, something like that. It's all lightweight. I know, people are going to say they're tin cans, it's a tin. It's not that strong. I don't plan on getting it heated up that much. I want to have a little bit of heat in the shelter so that I don't freeze in the middle of the night. So as I mentioned, some items you'll need today. I have an old little mini beer keg. It's one of these, 5-liter beer kegs. I have a recycled charcoal stove, the base from a charcoal stove. I took the legs off it because it is absolutely perfect to do what I want it to do. The legs all fold in, and when I stick it on the bottom, it has a nice perfect base to it. Why not use it? Again, soup cans, nothing fancy. These were just tomato soup cans I had emptied out. I cleaned them, peeled the labels off. Yes, I know some of the labels did stick on, but they'll probably burn off in the process anyways. This is all going to be vented outside, and my plan is to vent the chimney outside. So when it comes down to building the shelter, I'll have it built around that. I'll figure that part out in the bush. What else did I grab? I grabbed the little, the vent part of the chimney. This part here is the slider that goes underneath. You know, you have your hole on the bottom, and then it just slides over top so that you can get ventilation in and out. I managed to save that. Some screws, nuts and bolts, and then little bits and, you know, side cutters, needles, pliers, a hole punch if you have it. I have a drill press to cut out the holes in the top of the can to make the chimney. You don't need that. You can just use whatever, a Dremel tool, a jigsaw, a drill, and just carve around. What I did is I pulled off the plastic ring off the beer keg already to get started on it. I also have a chunk of wood here. You're wondering why the chunk of wood is sitting here. That is because when I put my hole in the can, my plan is to have the can slide in, and I'm going to peen it out. I'll put some high test gasket on there, the high temperature gasket material. That's my plan there, so I'm going to drill a hole, put the can in, and then peen it out as I go along. I'll show you that process in a few minutes. Last but not least, I have my teeny meeny ball peeny hammer. And my Dremel to cut the, I'm going to try using the drill press to carve out the holes, the bottom in here, to make a chimney. If not, I have my Dremel. So, with that all said and done, let's get started. So what I'm going to do here is just trace out my guideline. So I've got an idea to cut, where to cut. And let the snipping begin. Woo-wee! And that's all done. Our hole's all nicely cut out. See how well it dry fits. Ah! Perfect! Perfect fit. Next up, clean up the holes a little bit with a file, and then we'll weld them into place. And we're back. So this is what happened when I tried to do the first peening. It's turned out absolutely horrible. The cans are a lot thinner than I thought, so on to step 2. What I'm going to do on this can is trace out even lines, and then I'll just cut little tabs into them. This way here I can just fold it over and probably just rivet the thing in and then put a bunch of gasket material over top. So I'll start on that and show you how that's working out. So basically I'm just making 4 even lines across. So it doesn't have to be 100%. It's just reference marks. And I want to go right up to the first ridge here to give me enough meat to work with. So roughly centered. And then from there, split the difference. And then we'll make, what, 4, 5 tabs, I guess. We'll just X out the ones that we want to cut. And all we're going to do is just cut out the lines and then fold the tabs up.
Movavi. 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 Movavi.
Right, so the tabs are done. You can see they're cut all the way around. Now it's just a matter of bending them out. You can either use your fingers or you can use a pair of pliers. It's the cans are fairly thin enough, so I'm just using my my fingers to do this. Next up, drill the hole in the can, and let's see how it all fits together. Alright, so our holes are drilled. Time to work with the paste. So what I've got here is JB Weld's Extreme Heat. It's temperature resistant, high temperature resistant metallic paste. It is good, able to withstand continuous heat to 1000 degrees Fahrenheit or 538 degrees Celsius. I'm by no means sponsored by anybody, any of these companies. This is just the stuff I picked up at Canadian Tire, my hardware store. You can buy just about any hardware store. What I'm going to do is rough up the edges a little bit with some sandpaper and glue this thing down, and then I will rivet it in place. that was a long one. Let's see what I've done so far. I capped the chimney takeoff. I put the JB Weld stuff on there, that high temp sealant, all the way around to cover the cracks. Hopefully, again, it's not going to be completely leak proof, but I put the vent on at the bottom, and I also fixed up the handle on the door. Just a basic design. You can see at the front I have a little put the hinge on one side, a little hook with a chain, and then it's a simple open it up. The door doesn't exactly seal tight, but you know what, that's okay. Show you from this angle. Chain hooks on. I finished the door. I put a couple of rivets on the hinges. Door is not exactly leak proof, but it works. I've got a little hook here. There's cracks all the way around, but that's okay. Very basic, very easy. As well, what I did, I crimped the edges on the pipes so that they fit together nicely. That'll create a reasonably tight seal. Yes, again, there's holes in the chimney pipe. That's okay. It's going to be vented outside. But the idea is they just press on over top each other. Press on over top each other to create the chimney. The last cool feature of this all of the pipes nestle nicely in together. For easy storage. The legs come off via a wing nut underneath. And then you simply pop it in and pop it in the bag. Just like that. There you have it, folks. A simple pot stove that you can use with recycled materials around the house. I've got a recycled beer keg, charcoal barbecue, some soup cans, and a bit of hardware you can find at the hardware store. Stay tuned for part 2 of the video where we take it out to the bush and fire this puppy up. Yes, I know it's going to burn off some paint and whatnot. That's okay. I'd rather burn it off outside in the open than burn it off in the shelter. If you enjoyed the video, give it that like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and keep me in the feed. Stay tuned for part 2, coming up soon.